The next step I need to do is I had to buy some small sheets of drywall. Put our joints right here up top. All right, test fit. All right, nice work. Looks good. Got this smoothed out. I had put one last coat on it last night. And I'm just going to get the dust off so that our spray texture sticks. Now I know the spray texture only has to come down to about right here because we're going to start the mantle there. So from here up has to have new texture to match. Down here I'll probably do some test sprays to make sure the texture's at the preferred setting. But all that's going to be covered up. Let's see what we got. Okay. Good there. That should be good. Now, if we look at it up close, there's the texture setting I had it at. It's hard to match, but all of this will kind of blend in once we get it painted the same colors. You'll have to get up really, really close to see that the texture is different. Hi guys, welcome back to part 3 of me replacing my fireplace insert. Today, hopefully, this is the final video. Fingers crossed. I'm about done with this project, but I've got other projects going on after this. So I'd like to get this wrapped up today in today's video. So I did get the spray texture on, and we're gonna get to laying, we're gonna start from the ground up. So we're gonna start cutting our stone panels up to here, and then our faux wood mantle there. So I'm going to start while this is drying. This takes about 30 minutes for the texture to dry. I'm going to go outside with some 2x4 scraps and try to do some cuts. I think I got to cut, 22.5 angle, and I'm going to cut two 2x4s and make sure I got that angle right before I start cutting into our faux stone panels. So I want to make sure I got the angle setting on the circular saw at the correct angle setting so I don't mess up a good piece of faux stone panel. So guys, stay tuned. We'll get started. Okay, I got my scrap 2x4. I'm going to try a 22.5, I think will equal 45 degree angle when you butt the two together. So I've got my setting on the side here, and it does have a 22.5 mark. dominant. So I'm pretty sure that's what you need if you want to butt two items up together, 22.5, and that will equal 45, I believe. So let's test it out. And I just marked a line here. Let me see something. I can hold this. All right, I'm not going deep enough for this 2x4. Let me see if I can run through again. I think I got a little deeper now. All right, so I've got a slight angle there and a splinter. Okay, now if I put these two together, that should be our 45-degree angle of that wall. And I just want to take this in there and see. You know, the wall could be off, you know, so I'm going to fit this up against the wall and see if that's the angle, same angle we have. So let's try that. All right, let's try our pieces here. Just for 10, that's a faux stone panel there. And we cut another one to fit flat. And yeah, that looks just about right. All right, let me show you something. The old fireplace came out right here at the bottom to give it kind of a hearth or hearth, however you call it. So I've got a gap. Even with this faux stone on there, I've got a gap right there. That's too large for the faux stone to cover. So I've got an idea to where, you know, I don't have to try to match up some tile. It's not going to be very easy to match up tile there because it's such a small amount. The gap is narrower down there, but I've got some plastic L channel that I'm going to put here that's black. Same L channel that I plan to put up here around the fireplace insert where the stone meets it. Gives it a nice clean look. I've done it on the other fireplace. So let me go ahead. I better do that first before I start trying to get the stone in there. Let me get a bottom plate down there with that black L channel, and I'll let you know how that looks. Okay, so here's our L molding. It's like a plastic lightweight. And I got this to come out, I think 2 inches right here, or 2.5 to 1 inch. So figure I could place this in here, covers up the gap, gives that a nice clean reveal on the tile. Nice deep dark brown. And then what I'll do, I'll take another piece of this. It came in 3 pieces. Instead of going this way, I don't need it this wide because this is not as wide here of a space I need to cover. So I just need the 1 inch. So I'm going to flip it upside down and put it down like this. And that's how we'll have a nice clean base without putting a molding or anything. I don't like to take away from the faux stone look and by introducing moldings. So that's why I make, instead of have a molding going across here to continue this, it's just going to look funny raised above the molding when you have stacked stone. So I like the stacked stone to go all the way and plant itself on the ground right coming up from the tile. So let me get this in here, and for this I'm going to use the Ryobi Airstrike. Works pretty well for me to strike in some nails and hold this in place. Now I'm going to have to cut a little piece down there because these strips I couldn't get quite as long as I needed. So I'll have to cut another little piece there. All right, we're going to cut the faux stone now. See how this is at the ends? It's jagged here to match up with the other end over here. So you can match those stones up. So I've got 4 panels. I'm going to put 2 rows up here. And so I think I can do 2 across and 2 across. That will be 4 panels. Now I'm starting from the straight edge here. So I'm going to cut this first section just straight here. So it will meet up against this wall here, flat, and then we'll come out to here we'll measure out to here and make a 23-degree angle cut there. And then so that these stones will match, I'm going to make the 23-degree cut somewhere in this section here, and then go over about 1 inch and cut the other one so that they'll kind of match together, the stone pattern. So let me go do that. All right, so we're going to cut. Got to be very careful with this. I got limited product here. Cut this side off straight. This doesn't really need a measurement here. The next, where we put the angle, will need a measurement, so it'd be nice to have a straight edge to measure for where we're going to cut that angle. And this stuff is pretty easy to cut. It kind of makes a mess. So I got to remember where my it's about 23-degree mark or so. It's right in between a 22.5 and the next mark there. So I got to remember that for the angle. But right now I'm going to set it back to a 0 degree, straight up and down. And let me get some clamps so that we can clamp this down so it doesn't move off our mark. All right, let's go measure. All right, we have our first issue right here. So I got the straight cut over there, but I'm running into this molding. Now my dilemma is, do I mark this molding and come up with a side cutter, or do I notch this out for the molding to kind of have the stone go around this existing molding? And I'm thinking, I mean, it would be so much easier just to have this straight cut go all the way up against this wall, a pencil mark here, and kind of go around a little bit of these notches the best I can. And then what I can do if I have small gaps, I can just come back with some silicone in here and paint it white to match the molding. That way I don't have to fool with cutting into this and potentially messing this expensive faux stone board up. So let me make my mark here and cut that section out a little bit. Shoot. All right, this piece here is going to be a little bit more nerve-wracking. Number one, I don't trust these edges on this, so I marked it at the top and the bottom. It's pretty close, and here's where we need to try to do our angle. So I want to see if I set this to the angle again. Around 23 degrees is what worked well. Then I'll be going this way to create that angle. So I'll leave some room there, and I'll clamp it. Okay. And we'll make our mark. I marked it up here on the top edge so I can find it easily. Okay. And I'm just going to do this freehand. No board on here. All right, let's see how this fits. Nice. Now, I'm not sure if I have this out enough, but if we had to, we could pull it out, give or take an eighth, maybe 3/16 of an inch. We'll be fine. But now I need to take this piece. See, it's got the opposite angle now. I got to cut it this way to meet here. So we got to do a reverse angle. I want to do it right here within this area right here, because it's matching the same stones that I just cut from. Same colors and shades, but we'll just take off about 1 inch here. Maybe only 3/4 of an inch, just to match it right there. It'll look like the stones, it's one stone. Each of these is the same stone. That's what the look you want to go for. All right, so this one, I don't need to really measure right here. I just need to make a line so that I can cut the angle this way instead of this way like it is. So I got to cut it the opposite way. So let me go do that. Okay, let's see what we ended up with, guys. I just cut it. Oh, that looks nice. Nice looking cut. Look at that. Not very much gap at all there. You can see the gappage is minimal. That's good. Woo-wee, I was nervous about that cut. So let me get another piece, and then we got to continue on. We'll make it fit into here, and then we'll have to cut our edge there, and then over there, see, we'll have to cut it at a 23-degree different angle there, so that it kind of, you know, angles up against the other angle there where the cabinets start. All right, I've got a pretty good fit here. I got the other piece over here for the other top, and I got them fitting good together. Alignment's good on the wall, and I got my 45-degree cuts here to match this, to blend into here. And I'm gonna go ahead and mark behind here and cut out the sections for this fireplace insert. But now remember, I'm gonna cut this out, and I'm gonna put the fireplace insert, slide it in, and then put the glass on it. And then I'm gonna have to mark around the glass, because the glass comes out further than this opening. If you remember in the last video, when I marked it out on the drywall here, our mark is since gone because I've drywalled mud over it. So, but I need to be able to slide the fireplace in and then put the glass on and then mark it, and then I'll cut that. So, but first I gotta cut out this opening hole. So. All right, see that mark down there? Oh, okay. Yeah, good, we got our mark. And I got these, just remember, I got them tacked in. So I got our mark down here, a little section there. And a mark here, very good. So I got some cutting to do, and I'll be back. Now look at this, guys. After I made my mark and cut it out here, look how much is gonna be wasted, you know, out of one sheet of panel. Well, actually, we got 4 sheets we're working with. But that's the only way I know how to do it, so that it all aligns and matches up right. But you're gonna waste some of the panel. All right, let's see if we can figure this puzzle out now. Looks like a good cut there on the first one. I'm just gonna tack these in. This one, I need to cut a little bit more off. All right, let's see if we got this right. Yeah, that's better. Now the last piece I didn't cut because I got to get in there with my arm and hand and pin. And I want this to fit tight in here. That's good. I'll have to force that in. I don't want to force it in right now. I'm just going to make my mark. Okay. Let's stick this in here. Let's see, we got a good fit. Okay. Now, I could even probably put it in just like this. Let me put the glass on it. If the glass will fit on it with it just like this, it's got this screw holes here, 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 and there's framing behind there. I was going to go with kind of a sunk in flush fit, but let's just see. Like I said, plans may change. Oh yeah. I've got a decision to make now. I was going to use that L channel and sink that in there, but I'll make sure that's not going to fall. Let me take a step back here and look. So here it is. I don't know. It would be all right like that. But let me show you. Let me show you what I was going for. The same kind of idea I did here with this fireplace. See how it's sunken in? With just the black L channel that kind of finishes off the stone that's exposed. And it makes the brick seem like it's coming out more. So I don't know if I want to go for that look. Let me see. Now this one had some cabinets on the side too, because this used to be a fireplace cabinet. And I chopped it up, made it work into here. But let me go look again. This one. I mean, it looks all right, but it looks like somebody just slid something in. It doesn't look built into me. So I think it's going to look a whole lot more custom if I sink it into the brick, like my original plan called for. But right here, it's like my safe point. If I just do it like this, I'm good. But if I go a step further, I can mess it up. I could cut a cut wrong or something. But no, I want it sunken in there, like it's built in more. All right, we got our markings. See how it's coming out to here around the fireplace insert, right above the top there with the permanent marker. And then down there. And right below. Okay, there's our cut. And we'll have to fit everything in, make sure it fits like it did before, and then we'll put our black L channel in there. All right, guys, with a little bit of detail work, I got it to fit. It's inside the stone here. It's, I guess, what would you call it? It's sunken in, the stone. Recessed, that's what I'm thinking of. It's recessed. It's recessed in the stone. Got a slim little area around it. Let me show you. Really tight, close fit. All the way around. So, now that close fit is going to allow us to use our, I call it a reveal molding, but it's like an L channel. It's made out of plastic. We use this on the floor to hide the tile that was cut on the floor. So this is going to give us a nice finished look. And I'm going to pull this insert back out and put this in here. And it's going to cover the sides of the stone that are rough cut that you can see now. And it's going to be a more finished cut there. And this is, I don't know if it's black or it's like a dark brown bronze, but it gives it a really nice look here. So that's my next step. And then I got to determine, am I going to keep the mantle this high? So I got to measure that out, and I'm going to build the mantle frame with 2x4s, which are perfect to fit inside our faux beam, wood beam, that will attach right to there. So I'm just trying to decide. First I'm going to put these on, and then I'm going to stand back, take a look, and see if we need to cut this down maybe a little bit, and then have our mantle. But our mantle is thick, so I could probably still keep it there and have just that much stone showing, and the mantle will L-shape over this stone there. So that's our next plan. Okay. So I'm checking this, and this is right on level. It's like perfect. Check down here, a little bit off. Oops. Really close. Ah.